Hey, Stephanie, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Prayerfully, y'all can hear me. Blessings to you, Miss Allen. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Okay, good deal, good deal. God has me again out and about our declaration is don't stop looking. Our declaration is going to be don't stop looking. Say it again. Don't stop looking. Don't stop looking. How many of you guys like can say like for whatever it is that like you're believing God for, that it requires for you to look for the promise? Whether it is a job, whether it is living arrangements, whether it is financial relief, whether it is, something revolving around your health, how many people can absolutely say like the thing that that I'm believing God for requires that I look forward, right? Especially now we're not talking about looking because you impatient, but I mean like, like looking at buying a townhome now. My God, come on now, listen. I'm gonna say it again. Don't stop looking. Everyone on here, Stephanie, can you actually text Visha or call her and let her know that she needs to be here? Don't send just the notification, but text or call her. But like everyone on here can like say like the thing that like you're believing God for, the thing that you know that He is putting on your heart to like pursue in this hour, it requires that you look. Whether it is some okay, Stephanie, thank you so much. Whether it is some call her is what I hear to tell you. Call her. Whether it is something like, you know, financially, it requires that you look, that you do the work. And like, how many people know that sometimes like looking can be overwhelming? How many people know that sometimes like looking can be overwhelming? How many of y'all know it can be overwhelming in the sense that it feels like, God, the thing that you're telling me to look for, it don't look like it even exists. You be like, God, now I know the vision that you gave me for this thing, right? I've written it down. I've made it plain, but it don't even look like this type of opportunity exists. It don't look like this type of blessings to you. It doesn't look like this home exists. It doesn't look like this vehicle exists, because a lot of times it feels like I am looking for a diamond in the rough. Give me a one if you understand exactly. A lot of times it can feel like you looking for a diamond in the rough. Like it, sometimes you be going back to the drawing board and you like, God, clearly this ain't it, right? Especially when you're presented with other options, right? That look like something that you could settle for. It looks like something that is good, right? And you like, God, okay, you didn't give me all these specifics. It ain't here. I don't see it, right? And so sometimes when we get overwhelmed, when we get frustrated, not only are we facing fears while we search for what God has promised us, right? We have to overcome those fears, whether it is a fear of not being able to get something, whether it is a fear of whatever it is. But how will you ever get what God has for you if you stop looking? Okay, Stephanie. How will you ever like get what like I understand like sometimes I understand your journey has been long, right? I know that it's been a very hard journey. I know you've waited, right? For the moment where God says it's time. I know you tired. I know you flustered. I know you're frustrated, right? God knows all of these things. But how will you ever find it if you stop looking? It's just like the children of Israel. Like how would they have even gotten to the point of seeing God bring down the walls of Jericho and confuse the enemy on the inside? If they didn't move, right? How? I have felt this way with every single area. Like that I've seen God do something in my life, from the vehicle to where I live now to even the home buying process. Let's not even start on dating, right? Sometimes God's requirements of the vision, his specifics in regards to the vision, sometimes you be like, God, this is a lot. Like you didn't went over the top. It feel like this thing that you didn't given me a vision for, like it is absolutely like it ain't here. And it's sometimes that in itself. getting overwhelmed, it makes you feel like, what's the use? Sometimes people get distracted while they're looking because they feel like the thing that God is giving them a vision for is so far fetched. So they get sidetracked, right? With wanting to settle. This is where they start spinning their wheels and nothing ever happens, right? Sometimes you just, feel like, God, you know what? I'm not looking at all because I'm tired of looking and not seeing anything. I'm tired of looking and not finding exactly, what you said belongs to me. I'm tired of entertaining people that I think have all the, come on, I think they have all the question, the qualities, and they don't. They may be missing one, they may be missing two, right? But the Bible tells us in Habakkuk, the second chapter, not only to write the vision and make it plain, but it tells us, hey, Visha, the vision tells us that what God has spoken, what He has given us a vision for, it exists. Come on, somebody say, what I'm looking for exists. Somebody needs this. What I'm looking for exists. The home that I'm looking for exists, right? No matter, come on, no matter how specific God is being, it exists. The vehicle that God has given me a vision for, it exists. The type of business partnerships and business opportunities that I've been looking for, and listen, I have not been able to find them, but just because I have not been able to find them, come on, it does not mean that it does not exist. It exists. Somebody say it exists. It exists. It exists. That purpose partner that you've been praying for, right? Those divine connections and friends that you've been asking God for, it exists. But the thing about it is, if you refuse if you refuse to look, you won't ever get the opportunity to really find out that what God promised you really exists. Come on. If you stop looking, if you get frustrated in the search, right? You won't ever get to the promised land. You won't even get the opportunity to see that, man, God. The Bible tells us the vision does not lie. Somebody say God's vision does not lie. The vision He gave me for my home, it didn't lie to me. The vision He gave me for my next relationship, my next marriage, it didn't lie to me. The vision that God gave me for my finances, it didn't lie to me. Come on, somebody. The vision that He gave you for that vehicle, it didn't lie to you. The vision that He gave you for a new job, it didn't lie to you. But it does require that you look for it. Oh, it does require that you look for it. It requires that not only that you look for it, but it requires that you be patient while you look for it. I'm talking to somebody. It takes time. It takes time. I have been looking online at homes. You guys know I'm starting that process, right? And I have not been finding anything. Like yesterday, I looked at several homes. Nothing resonated. I saw one that really, really stood out because I'm like, God, it's modern farmhouse. That's what I want, right? But it wasn't the one. And so today, like when God told me I had to go and get Bella's medicine, they gave it to me, and He told me, I want you to go look at this home, view this home. Right, and I almost gave God so many excuses not to go and view another home. Well, God, yesterday was a long day. I almost gave Him so many excuses. This ain't the one. And God literally told me, how will you ever know? They did give it to me. They listen, they did. They refilled that prescription, didn't give me no issues. So listen, and I give God glory for that. I didn't expect it to go any other way because God told me to do that. So I knew that if God is telling me this is a whole word, that's a whole word in itself. If God tells you to do something, right? You already know the outcome. If God gives you a vision, you already know the outcome. The vision, right? It is the outcome. The vision that He gave you for your life, the vision that He gave you for a home, the vision that that you wrote down, it is the end goal. So you already know what to expect, but you will never ever get to the place where it is your reality if you stop looking. The vision requires it. Come on, that you get over yourself. And by getting over yourself, the vision requires that you get over your fears. It requires that you remain faithful, that you obey. Even though you feel like, God, what's the point? You have to move. Come on, somebody tell your neighbor, you got to keep moving. Hopefully I'm not freezing. Got to keep moving. Somebody tell your neighbor, you have to keep moving. Fresh, scared or not, you got to get it embedded that what God said will be your reality. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. Because a lot of times what I've learned is the moment where you feel like, God, it ain't here. And as long as you still are looking, as long as you're still obeying what he needs you to do, there comes a point, y'all. There will come a point where it becomes your reality. I remember, like, even with like the vision that I had for my car, right? The one that I have now. It seemed like it didn't exist. It seemed like it didn't exist, but I kept looking. It seemed like it didn't exist until I found it. And for many people, come on, it's going to seem like it doesn't exist until you find it. But finding it requires that, come on, that you actively look, that you actively circle whatever the promise is. And the thing about looking, right? What I found, it's like the more and more you look, right, for the thing that God has given you a vision for. While you look, God gives you insight about what you want and what you don't want. How will you ever know what you really want in a home if you don't really like go and look, right? Because remember, we don't have all the details of the vision. We have the main points of what God wants for us. We got just the main points. We don't have all of the specifics. I would have never known, God, I don't want like a whole bunch of walls in my house. I need an open floor plan. I wouldn't have known that had I not looked around and experienced, what that is. I wouldn't have known what kind of kitchen I want had I not had the experience that comes from looking. I wouldn't have known certain things, what's too big, what's too small, had I not been looking. Am I making sense? And for some of y'all, God is saying, what are you waiting for? The reason why you got so much fear is because you sitting in it. You sitting in it. You're speaking it into existence that you will not get what God has for you. Some of y'all are unconsciously speaking deaf into the very thing that God has promised you because you're scared. And you're speaking deaf into it by your lack of movement. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. I just came here today to tell you that the thing you're believing God for, listen, it exists. But you won't find out that it exists if you stop looking, if you stop circling, if you stop obeying. Come on, faith moves. And it's always at the moment, right, where you just about to give up. And God says, boom, here's that ram in the bush. I told you it existed. I told you it existed. And for some of you guys, start paying attention to your dreams at night. Start paying attention to what the Lord begins to reveal to you about where he's taking you, right? Pay attention to the visions that you wrote years ago. Pay attention to those visions. Because the vision doesn't lie, but instead it points to what's to come. It shows you what's coming. It shows you where God is taking you. It shows you, come on, what your life is going to look like in the near future. This is this is for somebody. This is for somebody. And that's the broadcast, man. Somebody tell your neighbor, don't stop looking. No matter how many no's you've gotten in the past, you can't afford to stop looking. Listen, you ain't come this far and get all the way to the point, right? Where it's your time, it's your season to start slacking. Don't you stop looking. You can't afford to. No matter no matter how many rejections you got, how hostile the girls in the past, you cannot. And that's what the Lord told me. It's exhausting. And it's exhausting because our fears are being faced. We're having to face our fears and actually exercise our faith. Okay, am I picking up now? Hold on 1 second, you guys. I am driving. What about now? It should be better now. What about now? What about now? What about now? Are we good? Okay. So what I'm saying is sometimes, looking can be exhausting. And it's exhausting, right? Because our fears we're having to face our fears by actually exercising faith. I don't know who needed this, but get up off of your butt and do what God said do. I don't know who needs to hear this, but trying to avoid that fear will only make it fester. It will linger. It will spread like a cancer, and it'll start spreading into areas where fear was not even present. That's the broadcast. Somebody tell your neighbor, don't you stop looking. Don't stop looking. You can't afford to. Don't stop looking. Don't stop looking. Come on. Don't stop looking. That's it. There's that needs to sow. I do not know who you are, but what the Lord wants me to tell you is that you need to get over the fear and the thoughts and feeling as if you feel like you need to have a safety blanket. Whoever you are, you need to sow whatever God tells you to sow. And that's it, y'all. That's it. You can sow one or two ways. You can sow via PayPal, or you can sow dollars. But that's it. To those of you guys that need prayer, you guys can send prayer requests to prayer.thoughtsbyt@gmail.com and your testimonies as well. Again, do not stop looking. And that is the seed title. Don't stop looking. God says, I need to say it again. Don't stop looking. He wants me to say that again. Do not stop looking. You can't afford to. And that's it. That's it. I love y'all, man. I am rooting for you guys. And so until next time, y'all, peace. I really want to look inside of that home.